joined us. You're on the clock, Phil, on the draft. Phil Chaplin. What a slow draft. I hate slow drafts, but I really got into this one. All right? There you go. Marte will be a Met. Brandon Nimmo will be a Pirate. Okay, there you go. Will there be Lenny's Legions Leagues this year? Let's ask Andrea. I'm pretty sure they will. Yeah, Toronto got Hunchin Room. All right, so there you go. We got the message, Arnie. No problem. Arnie coming up next. Okay? I even emailed you back. Not emailed, with this thing with the tweets and, what do you call that? Anyway, I get it on my phone. Okay, so all that being said, now Marcell Ozuna could be a possibility for Washington. He lingers as a possibility to join Washington. There's a little talk about that now. That's something new. And St. Louis, okay? Ozuna had hinted that the Cardinals and the Rangers were his top suitors, okay? But I do think that Washington is in desperate need. Desperate need. All right, Cincinnati's probably not in there anymore with the signing of Shogo Akiyama. So, and the Cardinals have so many good youngsters. I am putting Harrison Bader down as one of my sleepers. I got, Peraza's a sleeper to me. Harrison Bader's a sleeper to me. Austin Hayes is a sleeper to me. We'll go over these in another time. And I picked up Steven Matz, and he's a sleeper to me, too. We'll talk about that in a second. So, with most of the Blue Jays offseason focusing on obtaining starting pitching, as I mentioned, Travis Shaw is someone that you just should not overlook. Toronto has looked at some major upgrades. They went for Shaw. They had interest in Didi Gregorius before he signed with the Phillies, and now they're showing interest in Francisco Lindor. The adage of, as the team goes, so goes the player, is right there. And I really believe that Toronto and Travis Shaw could be a very, very interesting pick. I want you to hold on to your hats right now because you ain't heard nothing yet. Jacoby Ellsbury. Jacoby Ellsbury could be coming out of whatever. He's the only player who's playing, getting paid to play, and being in retirement at the same time. That's pretty tough to do. Thank you all for being here in the chat room. Good morning to Timothy, my hooker, and everybody else that's here. It's fantastic. Arnie will be coming up next. Not live. You see, we have podcasters who are live. We have podcasters who think they're dead, like George, and then we have podcasters who are not here live. So we got all kinds of stuff going on. All right, so it's a lot of fun, really a lot of fun, and we can only thank everybody who participates for the fun. Now, moving right along. So Ellsbury could wind up, and there have been rumors now. Hold on to your hats. Rumors that the Chicago Cubs, and when you think about the Cubs, you take a look at their team. They don't have a leadoff hitter. Ian Happ is penciled in along with Albert O'Mora. That's not any good. Hayward's in right. Kyle Schwarber's in left. Bryant may be in third. Javier Baez short. Hector, Nico Horner at second. Rizzo at first. Wouldn't shock me if Jacoby Ellsbury gets signed, and this is what I'm hearing. I'm not making this shit up. Signed by the Chicago Cubs. You got that one? Chicago Cubs and Jacoby Ellsbury. So they're still the Yankees in that deal with Ellsbury. Forget about it. Alex Gordon and the Royals are wrapping things up. He wants to stay there in Kansas City. Anybody remember how good Alex Gordon was pumped the first year he came up? Happy 56th anniversary to Brady Anderson, the only American League hitter to record a season with at least 50 homers, okay, and 50 stolen bases. Barry Bonds had, he's the only American Leaguer. Barry Bonds did it as the only National League representative. And I remember Irwin Zwilling and I sitting out there in Florida spring training, and we're looking at Brady Anderson and all, and we wanted Brady Anderson because it was Brady Anderson or a Detroit outfielder, I forget his name, but we picked Brady Anderson, and we went dollar for dollar. We overpaid for Brady Anderson to steal 40 or 50 bases. And he hit 50 home runs, and we got such... Oh, how did you guys know that? In one of the greatest things ever, we draft Brady Anderson for stolen bases, and sure enough, he gets all the home runs, and we didn't figure on that. But he had a 50 home run year and a 50 stolen base year. Now, Albert Bell had 50 or more doubles and 50 home runs in the same year. Biggio had 50 or more doubles and 50 steals in the same year. So there you go. Matt Wieters. Looks like he's signing back. I loved Matt Wieters on the Cardinals. I loved him. Thinking that Molina's got to take a rest. You got to rest Molina a little bit. Wieters is going to get playing time. So what happens? Wieters doesn't get playing time. Molina catches in the 16-inning game. Jorge Soler with hit 30 no doubt. Ever hear of a no doubt home run? A no-doubt home run is a home run that would have gone out of any one of the 30 stadiums in Major League Baseball. So Jorge Soler led Major League Baseball last year with 30 no-doubt home runs. That's a new one, right? No-doubt home runs. There you go. That's a great category. A no-doubt home run. Malpal has joined us. Good morning from the great state of San Diego. Great to see Malpal. So no doubt home runs. That's a new one. Soler. The other players, Mike Trout had 28, Acuna had 27, Arenado 25, and Sano had 25. And those are no doubt home runs. Now, if you're curious about the comparisons of recent history, Buster Posey was a second-ranked catching prospect entering 2009. That's the year he was eventually a September call-up. He was the top-ranked catching prospect entering 2010, and lo and behold, Joey Bart is ranked number 2 on Major League Baseball's pipeline list of top catching prospects. So we expect Joey Bart up this year. And it's amazing that Posey was totally overlooked, just taken now, very late rounds in our draft. There you go. So Buster Posey and Joey Bart. Now, as far as the over-under is concerned, the New York Yankees over-under is 101. How do we like that? 101 over-under for the New York Yankees. That is pretty cool, okay? And we'll get to the Yankees in just a minute. Let's get to the Yankees right now. 101 over-under on the New York Yankees. Hard to believe, right? So that I don't recall any other time where I've seen an over-under on a team of 100 or more. So with less than the season, the spring training, just right around the corner, the biggest spring training battle for the Yankees is going to be at third base with Gio Urshela and Miguel Andujar. Okay? Anybody like the Yankees for over under 101? That's going to be a tough one. Brian Cashman said that third base was Urshela's position to lose. That doesn't mean Andujar can't hit his way into the starting lineup. He had shoulder surgery. He was limited, to 12 games last season? Many teams have shown interest in Andujar. Here's the thing. He turns 25 in March. 25. The Yankees are not going to rush into a deal unless they are blown away by Andujar. And here's the thing. Urshela has 2 options remaining. So I don't know if Urshela was even drafted in our league. No, Andy, was Urshela drafted? I don't think he was. So he has 2 options left. That's enough to scare anybody off. 2 options after starting the 2019 season as a career 225 hitter. 225 with 8 home runs, 39 RBIs in 167 games. one of the really real question mark players of Major League Baseball is Urshela. Really. He played with the Blue Jays and the Indians. 28-year-old. He hit 314, 21 homers, 74 RBIs with an 890-something OPS in 132 games. He played a big part in the Yankees winning the American League East, and for the first time in 2009. That's after Andujar went down. So do we think that Urshela is a fluke? Here's how we determine. We're going to start the bidding. First of all, we're going to start the bidding on Gio Urshela at $5. Gio Urshela. Yeah, the Yankees, all right, over the 101, and they're getting Severino, and they're getting Cole, and they're getting Stanton, and they're getting Andujar, but they might be losing Urshela. Gio Urshela at $10. You could go 9 if you want, okay, to open it up. I'm opening it up at 10. If you think that's too high, then go 9, go 8. But I'm opening up Gio Urshela, mixed league. Good to see Joe back. I thought you left me, Joe. Mixed league, okay? Yeah, it's unbelievable, okay? $8 and I'm not talking mixed league. Wake up, George. Mixed league. No only leagues. Mixed league will be less. $11 for Kevin. Gio Urshela. Interesting. A lot of confidence, no confidence. I don't know where we stand, okay? But he had a September swoon, okay? In 19 games, that was 15 starts in the last month of the season, Gio Urshela hit .217. He was 13 for 60 with 3 homers, 7 RBIs, okay? Now, in the postseason, he went 8 for 33 with a acceptable .242 average. Based upon how Gio Urshela finished the season, I'm going to have to take the position that he's a real gamble this year, okay? Real gamble. Wouldn't be surprised if Andujar, who plans to arrive in Tampa early, he's probably there, and begin working out. Andujar could work out at first base during spring training or whenever. The Yankees love Andujar's bat. The fact that Urshela has 2 options is a safety net in case Andujar's shoulder becomes a problem. And it really is a battle of whoever hits better. Now, the problem with Andujar, look, Andujar lost his job because of an injury. But now that they have, and I've said this so many times because we have to emphasize, when you're talking about players, it's really important in fantasy baseball to remember that defense counts. And when you have Gleyber Torres as your shortstop, take a look at all the metrics. Defensively, very bad. No range. Doesn't have the range at shortstop. So to have him at Gleyber Torres at short and Urshela for Major League Baseball, it may not be the best thing to do. So nonetheless, big question. Let's see what the final bidding was. $11 was the final bidding, okay? $11. There you go. And a very, as we celebrate the day of Martin Luther King, okay? We thank everybody for being in the chat room. Great crowd. Thanks, everybody, so very much. Okay, now, as we move right along, let's go through the Yankees position by position. And over at first base, you got Luke Voit and Mike Ford. Well, that's an interesting. Could that be a platoon? Luke Voit and Mike Ford. For Luke Voit, I'm predicting, I'll give you my projections on Voit. He had an abdominal injury last year. He could hit about .265 with 20 to 25 home runs. Yes, he could. He is 28 years old. 28-year-old Luke Voit, okay? He's expected to be, and it's talked about. I know I saw in the Bergen record a quote by Aaron Boone saying that Luke Voit is the first baseman. Spectacular, okay? He's had some years in the majors without doing anything, but when he got his chance, and as a right-handed hitter, If he was a lefty, he'd be better. But they got the lefty. They got Ford. And who knows about this kid? Does anybody have any confidence?